Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being part of our transfer information session here at Preview Tech, Virtual Preview Tech. It's a great opportunity to just connect and get to know a little bit more about Georgia Tech. My name is Seth Bagwell. I'm a transfer admissions counselor here at Georgia Tech. We're going to just wait maybe one more minute just to give everybody a chance to get into the session, make sure that they don't miss anything. But just kind of a quick breakdown of what we're going to be talking about today. Our information session is a general transfer information session. So this is really kind of geared towards students who are a regular transfer student. We have some other presentations throughout this week that will be a little bit more geared towards our pathway transfer students. So if you are a pathway transfer student, you may want to look into signing up for one of those. However, this will be, again, just a general regular transfer information session. It's going to last just about right at an hour. We want to be very respectful of everyone's time. We're going to do our best to answer as many questions as we can, but please, I will say ahead of time, thank you for your patience. We have a lot of students sign up for this session, so we're going to do our best. I will say this presentation is going to answer a lot of your questions. We get a lot of the same questions each application term, so we're very aware of what questions students generally have, and we do our best to answer those within the presentation. So I would ask that to wait until we get through a slide before putting in a question about that slide, because we're gonna address a lot of the things that you all have questions about throughout the presentation. The first half of our presentation is going to be talking a little bit about Georgia Tech and who we are, how we got started, a little bit about the majors that we offer in our academics and some of the other programs that we offer, and then a little bit about the city of Atlanta if you're not familiar with Georgia Tech, where Georgia Tech is located. And then we're going to shift our presentation to talk specifically on the transfer application and the transfer application requirements and what you can expect when you fill out a transfer application, and then also how we review our transfer applications as admissions counselors here at Georgia Tech. This evening, I am joined by two of my colleagues, Shelby Kuhl and LaShawn Price. They're going to be moderating our chat for us this evening. So again, I just want to preface that. Feel free to drop a question in the chat, but please wait to do that until after we have gone through that slide that you might have had a question on or a question about. We're going to be putting out a poll question at the end as well, where we can maybe take a little bit more time to talk about some pressing questions that students have. And then if you see a question that you would have asked, go ahead and like that question. That way we don't get a lot of the same questions in the chat, because I'm sure a lot of you all are going to have the same questions. Believe me, we see it a lot. So it's no worries. We're going to do our best to try to answer your questions. And I think this presentation is going to answer a lot of the questions that you have. So without further ado, let's jump into the presentation and get started. I'm going to turn my video off so I'm not a distraction during the slides. And if you all have not had a chance to look through Georgia Tech's ViewBook, you can scan that QR code right there. That's our digital ViewBook, just giving you some good basic information about Georgia Tech and who we are. So definitely, if you haven't had a chance, check that out. All right, so this is again just an overview of what we're going to be looking at in this presentation. We're going to be talking about our academics, some of the experiences that our students get to be a part of, the city of Atlanta, and then again, we're going to shift focus and really dive in on that transfer application review. All right, so just kind of a little bit about who we are as Georgia Tech. We're all about progress and service. This is kind of emblematic throughout all of Georgia Tech, from students and faculty to our staff and alumni. Anybody that has a part in that plays a part in Georgia Tech and who we are really embodies this idea of progress and service. Georgia Tech was founded in 1885, and we were founded on the basis of creating the next. That we needed engineers to kind of develop the South after the Civil War and during that Reconstruction era period. And so this is where Georgia Tech kind of stepped in and filled that need. Our first major that was offered was mechanical engineering. It's still one of our most popular majors to this day. And we've always been about progress and service and kind of instilling that into our students. A great example of that was from one of our very own transfer students who graduated in 2019 with material science and engineering degree. His name is Colby Hanley. He actually started a business out of his dorm room called UltraView, where they 3D printed laser scopes for competitive archery. He ended up going and competing in our Inventure Prize, which is kind of like a Shark Tank competition, if you will. And he ended up coming in first place, and you get a lot of great rewards that come with getting first place in the Inventure Prize. And then after Colby graduated, he continued his business, was able to hire some employees and have some more 3D printers, and really just his business started taking off. And then Colby did something this past year that again just really embodies this idea of progress and service. He stepped up to the call during the COVID-19 pandemic and started using his 3D printers to not create the archery scopes, but to start 3D printing PPE for emergency use for those in need during the COVID-19 pandemic. And so, this is just a great example of how our students are launched out into the world and are still embodying that idea of progress and service. All right, so a little bit about our academics. Georgia Tech currently has a little over 16,000 students enrolled, and we enrolled more than 1,100 new transfer students in the year 2020, which was a record high for us. Students at Georgia Tech will receive a technology-based education combined with experiential learning. So again, that's been the idea from the very beginning. You're not just going to be learning in the classroom, but you're going to get that real world hands-on experience as well. We currently have 36 majors housed in our 6 colleges, which are the College of Business, College of Computing, College of Design, College of Engineering, College of Liberal Arts, and the College of Sciences. 36 is not a lot compared to a lot of schools, but we're not a comprehensive university. We're one focused on technology, innovation, and research in all areas from liberal arts and to computer science. And we work to bring bright students who will strive at Georgia Tech, and we make sure that we support them once they're here. Students are supported by living learning communities, tutoring programs, the Student Health and Counseling Center, and really just a lot of different areas as well. One number on this slide that we really like to kind of point out, and that we do kind of like to brag about a little bit, is our 94% retention rate. The average retention rate across the US is around 60-65%. But from this, you can see that once students get to Georgia Tech, they tend to stay here and end up graduating from here. All right, so a little bit about what I've been talking about is our applied academics. Students learn not only in the classroom, but hands-on learning has always kind of just been an integral part of how our students learn at Georgia Tech. And students can get co-curricular experiences through programs like our work, which would be our co-op and internship programs. Georgia Tech's cooperative education program is the largest voluntary co-op program in the US. And if you're unfamiliar with a co-op programs allow students to receive on-the-job experience and training for 3 alternating semesters to reinforce their classroom learning and make meaningful contributions in the workplace. So you're actually going to be working at a company and gaining that experience that you can put on your resume. And a lot of our students are actually hired by their employer after graduation, and more than 700 businesses, industries, and organizations throughout the US and abroad employ Georgia Tech co-op students. So this is just an awesome opportunity to gain that real experience and then potentially gain a career out of that as well. A lot of our students take the opportunity to do an international experience. Georgia Tech provides study and work abroad opportunities as well as an option international plan that integrates overseas experiences, language proficiency, and globally focused coursework into your 4-year degree requirements. So this is an opportunity to gain that experience as well. And not only those things, but students also have access to research opportunities, maker spaces, entrepreneurial experiences, and many, many other opportunities and experiences as well. All right, so a little bit about the city of Atlanta. Georgia Tech and Atlanta have really grown up together. So again, we're Georgia Tech started in 1885, and this was, not long after the Civil War, which, left a lot of the South kind of destroyed, and during that Reconstruction era. And so this is again where Georgia Tech kind of stepped in and filled that need. Students take advantage of being in a dynamic city like Atlanta for business and fun. Atlanta combines the entertainment, educational, and economic opportunities of an international city with the personality of close-knit, eclectic neighborhoods. Students are within easy walking distance to green spaces, parks, attractions, restaurants, theaters, museums, concert venues, sports venues, whatever it might be. You can find what you want to do here in the city or find what you want to do really close by. If you're interested in sports like I am, Atlanta's always been an exciting place for sports. We've hosted events from the Olympics to the Super Bowl, the Final Four, and we're going to host a World Cup semifinal game here in the next, I think, whenever the World Cup is here in the U.S. So that's really, really exciting stuff. And if you're a baseball fan, our Atlanta Braves are doing a great job currently in the National League Championship Series as they took home 2 wins this past weekend. So really, really fun stuff if you're a sports fan in Atlanta. Students can take advantage of work opportunities and business expertise. We're home to major nonprofits like American Cancer Society, CARE, the Carter Center, the CDC, and companies are attracted to Atlanta because of Georgia Tech, which is best exhibited in Tech Square with a headquarters for NCR, AT&T, and innovation centers for the Home Depot, Delta Airlines, the Southern Company, etc. The opportunities again are just kind of endless, and they're right here in our backyard. Companies are always coming to our campus to interview our students, and so this is a really, really great place to be, a really great city to be in. So really, really awesome opportunities. All right, so again, that's just kind of the first half of our presentation. So if you had any questions on those things, feel free to drop those in the chat. But we're going to be kind of shifting our focus now to really the transfer application. And again, this is our regular transfer application for our regular transfer students. If you're applying through one of our pathway programs, again, highly advise you check out one of our pathway sessions that will be offered throughout this week. But this will be focusing in on our regular transfer application requirements, how we review our transfer applications, and then how you can expect and what credit you can expect to get as a transfer student at Georgia Tech, and the tools that you need to use in order to figure those things out. All right, so first we'll just talk a little bit about our eligibility. So Georgia Tech provides a transfer application process for each semester term of enrollment, fall, spring, and the summer. The first step in the process is to complete and submit an online transfer application. The transfer application fee is $75 for domestic students and $85 for international students. Now, make sure you got everything in order and ready before you hit that submit button, because the application fee is non-refundable. So make sure you're reviewing everything. Make sure you're applying on the right application. Make sure everything looks right before you hit that submit button. However, there is a transfer application fee waiver option within the online application. So if that's something you're looking to do, make sure you check that out as well. So to be eligible to apply as a transfer student to Georgia Tech, an applicant must be a high school or secondary school graduate prior to the application available period for the term of interest. For example, the fall application will be available on January 15th. A student must be a high school graduate before this date to apply for a transfer for the fall term. So you may be a student that has a lot of AP credit or a lot of dual enrollment credit, but you're still in high school. This would mean that you would not be able to transfer until you have graduated high school. So generally, students graduate high school in May, so the earliest that they could apply as a transfer student to Georgia Tech would be a spring semester after they've graduated from high school. You would need to apply as a first-year student to Georgia Tech first if you were looking to come while you are still in high school. Transfer credit hours. A transfer applicant should have at least 30 semester or 45 quarter credit hours completed by the course requirement deadline of their application term. The course requirement deadline for fall is June 1st. For spring, it is October 1st. And for the summer term, it is February 1st. All right, let's talk a little bit about academic preparation. The way that we check for students' academic preparation is really through their transcripts. Now, we get a lot of questions, are high school transcripts required? No, we do not need your high school transcripts. So save your money, don't worry about sending those over. However, an official academic transcript from each previous higher, or college or university you've attended, both domestic and international, is required. So no matter where you've enrolled, if you enrolled in one course or 100 courses, or you attended a college 10 years ago or 1 year ago, we need transcripts from every institution that you were previously enrolled in. Now, those official academic transcripts must be sent directly from the institution to Georgia Tech. Now, for international student on with us tonight, international students with interest in applying but not currently enrolled at a U.S. institution, please go ahead and just reach out to our office for a little bit more information on what that will entail. An official foreign credit evaluation is required for applicants with prior enrollment at a non-U.S. institution and should include a course-by-course review with a GPA evaluation as well. Foreign credit evaluations must be sent to Georgia Tech from the Credit Evaluation Agency and include the academic transcript reviewed. Now, do note that Georgia Tech does not waive or exclude prior college credit or enrollment. So again, it doesn't matter how long ago it was, it doesn't matter if you only took one class, and it doesn't matter if all of your transfer credit shows up on your current institution's transcripts. We need your transcripts from each previously attended institution. Make sure you take the time to review our transfer websites for some more information on how to submit your transcripts. English proficiency. I'm sure we will have a lot of questions about this. So I'm going to really kind of take the time to walk through this very slowly, okay? So all undergraduate degrees at Georgia Tech require two English composition courses totaling 6 semester credit hours. All right, we recommend applicants complete both courses prior to applying to Georgia Tech. This is a kind of a policy that has been made by the University System of Georgia. So this is something that we adhere to from their policy. So we ask our transfer students to have those courses completed before coming to Georgia Tech. Now, I know a lot of you out there may be attending a school where you can only complete one English class, or it's only required of you to complete one English class. So in this case, what we ask students to do are two different things. They can either, one, look at taking another English class online at another institution, a local community college or something like that. Or if you're missing a second English composition course, you may indicate an alternate course on your application that you would like to use for that English course. Now, that alternate course needs to be an intensive writing course that usually includes a 7 to 10 page paper with cited sources, something along those lines. Usually it's like a humanities course or something like that, that you would need to use to complete that second English course. Okay, so really important there. Also, if you're an international student, this is how you meet the English proficiency requirement. We don't need a TOEFL score. We don't need an IELTS score. We're not going to be looking at those sorts of tests to meet English proficiency. This is how all of our students, regardless if you're international or you're domestic, you need to complete 2 English courses totaling 6 semester credit hours prior to submitting your application for transfer at Georgia Tech. So really important that you get those English courses done. All right, and then the kind of last step that we look at to see if you are academically prepared for Georgia Tech is the grade point average. Yes, I know everyone's favorite topic, the GPA. So we do 2 different types of GPA reviews during our review process at Georgia Tech. The first one that we do is an overall GPA review. This is where we're taking your GPA directly off your institution's transcripts. So whatever GPA you have at your current institution, that is the GPA that we would be looking at. The second GPA review that we do is a math and lab science GPA. The math and lab science GPA is one that we calculate. We calculate it by taking the grades from all the math courses that you've taken that are Calculus 1 and higher, meaning Calculus 1, Calculus 2, Calculus 3, Linear Algebra, Differential Equations, or higher than those courses. So we're taking all the grades that you made in those math courses and all the grades that you made in your lab science courses. In a lab science, we consider a lab science to be biology, chemistry, physics, and some earth and atmospheric sciences that include a lecture and lab component. So we're taking all of your grades from all your math courses and all your grades from all those lab sciences that you've taken. We're combining those and calculating a GPA from those. Now we do use Georgia Tech's 4.0 scale. So at Georgia Tech, we don't have plus and minus grades. So if you have plus and minus grades at your current institution, again, for the overall GPA, we're going to take it directly off your transcript. We're not going to convert the plus minus grades for your overall. However, we will convert your plus minus grades for the math and lab science. So if you want to figure out how to calculate that, an A equals 4, a B equals 3, a C equals 2, a D equals 1, and an F equals 0. So that is how you can use that chart to figure out what your math and lab science GPA is. Now, the minimum grade point average for the College of Computing and the College of Engineering is a 3.3, okay? That's going to be for the overall GPA and the math lab science GPA is a 3.3, and that's only for the College of Computing and College of Engineering. So if you're trying to major in computer science or major in any of our engineering courses or in any of our engineering majors, you need to make sure you have a minimum of a 3.3 GPA. The minimum grade point average for all of our other academic colleges and majors is a 3.0. All right, so those are the two differences there. So just want to make sure that you're meeting those GPAs when you're getting ready to apply to Georgia Tech. All right, now let's talk a little bit about our course requirements by major. You are going to want to make sure that your course requirements by major are met by your course requirement deadline for your application term. Now, course requirements do vary by major. So I'm going to take us to our course requirements by major chart. And bear with me, I'm going to see, and hopefully this will work. There we go. So this is our website here, our transfer website, where you can find our course requirements by major chart. What's great about this chart is it is interactive. So if you go ahead and click on that chart, you can then view the chart where it's interactive. And if you click on any of these majors, let's just go ahead and click on aerospace, for instance. It's going to take you to our Georgia Tech catalog for the Bachelor's of Science in Aerospace Engineering. It's going to give you the degree map on all the courses that you need to get a aerospace engineering degree at Georgia Tech and give you an overview and some other things as well. So really great that that is an interactive piece to our application, or excuse me, an interactive piece to the course requirements chart. Same thing for all the courses at the top. You can click on those and it will take you to the description for those courses at Georgia Tech. Now, it's highlighted, it's underlined, it's in bold. I don't know what else we can do. It's super important. It even says important in all capital letters. This is very important that all students realize all majors require coursework, again, equivalent to English 1101, English 1102, and Calculus 1. So very important. All of our majors require these three courses. All the courses listed below are additional course requirements for each major. So even if you are applied languages and intercultural studies, you need English 1, English 2, and Calculus 1. Yes, I know that hurts, but you do need the Calculus 1. So make sure you have all of these requirements plus all of these requirements down here for your major. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. For instance, let's take a look at aerospace engineering. So if you wanted to major in aerospace engineering at Georgia Tech and you're looking to transfer, you would need to make sure you have English 1, English 2, Calculus 1, in addition to Calculus 2, Chemistry 1, and Physics. So make sure you have all of those courses by the course requirement deadline for your application term. If you are a major that might have a lab science elective, I'll walk through what that means. So if you look down on the chart for business administration, again, you need English 1, English 2, and Calculus 1. You also need Calculus 2, and then you need 2 lab science electives. So what does that mean? The lab science elective definition is here at the bottom. Those would include biology, chemistry, calculus-based physics, okay? Don't take the don't take the algebra-based physics. You need the calculus-based physics, and some earth and atmospheric science courses as well. All lab science courses must include a lecture and a lab, okay? So you need the lecture and lab. Now, you might ask me, Seth, does this mean if I have 2 boxes here, one box is the lecture and one box is the lab? No, that is not what that means. What that means is you need 2 lab science courses, okay? So that means you need 2 actual courses for that major. Now go back up again to business administration. You see the 2 boxes. That means you need to take 2 lab sciences. If you see the slash there, that means the sequence is optional. Meaning for business administration, you could take any 2 lab sciences that you would like to. So you could take biology 1 and chemistry 1, or biology 1 and physics 1. However you want to take your lab sciences, that's how you can meet that requirement. However, if you want to be a computer science major, you'll see here you need again, English 1, English 2, Calculus 1, Calculus 2. Then you need 2 sequential lab sciences, okay? So if you don't see the slash, that means the sequence is required, okay? So for computer science, you would need to take, for instance, biology 1 and biology 2, or physics 1 and physics 2, or chemistry 1 and chemistry 2. And then also you'll see you need to take a computer science course as well. So this is the course requirement chart, okay? Very, very, very helpful tool so you know that you are taking the correct courses at Georgia Tech, or at your current institution, to meet the course requirements here at Georgia Tech for your major. Very interactive, very easy to read. Just make sure you're taking your time and you're reading the correct requirements for your major. All right, let's hop back over to our presentation. All right, so on the application, you're going to have the opportunity to select one of those 36 majors we just saw on the chart to study at Georgia Tech on your application. We review our application based off the major that you choose. So very important that you are choosing the one major that you are wanting to study at Georgia Tech. Okay, any offer of transfer admission from Georgia Tech is specific to the major and the term listed on the application. Students are not able to change their major once their transfer application has been submitted. Okay, so double, triple check that that is correct on your application before you hit the submit button. Okay, there is a save for later option on there, so save it for later if you're not sure. Now we'll get this question a lot, and I'll go ahead and address this question. Students will ask us, can I change my major once I get to Georgia Tech? We tell students, and we advise students, do your best to apply for the major that you would like to study at Georgia Tech. It is very difficult for transfer students to change their major once they get to Georgia Tech because you need permission from the program that you want to leave it, and permission for the program that you want to enter into it. So that might sound simple, but that can be a very difficult process, and there's no guarantee that you would actually be able to do that. That's why we tell students, if you want to, select the major that you really do want to study at Georgia Tech, work really hard to get the course requirements for that major, and then put together a really stellar application. All right, let's talk a little bit about how you can check what transfer credit you are going to get at Georgia Tech and what the transfer credit means in the transfer equivalency table. First, we'll take a look at our transfer credit policy. So this is our registrar's office website. Now the registrar's office is the authority on transfer credit at Georgia Tech. So we're always going to defer to the registrar's office policy on transfer credit, no matter what. At the top, you're going to see this box. Again, I know this is a very popular question that we're going to get, so make sure you're paying attention if you haven't been paying attention. So online credit. Now we know this past year, almost 2 years now, has been a very difficult time and a very unsettling time and things like that, and a difficult time for institutions and college students around the globe. So our typical policy for online transfer credit has been temporarily suspended. So during the spring, summer, and fall 2020 terms, then the spring and summer 2021 terms, no matter how your course was taken, it will transfer to Georgia Tech as if you took that course at your institution. Okay, so no worries if you had to take that course online in these terms. It will transfer as a regular transfer course. Now you can see here for future terms, fall 2021, spring 2022, if those courses are only offered at your school in an online mode, we will consider the course for credit as if taken on campus. If the course is not listed on the transfer equivalency site, the course must be submitted for review to the transfer credit site. This is a temporary suspension of our policy. So they are updating this policy as we go. Okay, so just do your best to follow this policy. So if what this policy is stating is from pretty much from spring of 2020 through spring 2022, if you've taken a course online, it will transfer as a regular transfer course to Georgia Tech. Now, you can also view this is our transfer credit policy for online courses when that temporary policy is not in place. Students are getting confused thinking that we don't accept any online credit outside of this temporary policy. We do. The only online credit that we typically do not accept would be these courses listed here. So it'd be all lab science courses, international affairs, psychology, economics, and courses equivalent to history 1 and 2 would not be eligible for transfer credit consideration. This is what I call our all the time policy, okay? But it currently does not apply because currently this temporary policy is in place. So all courses taken either in person or online would be reviewed as a regular transfer course, okay? So no matter if you took it online, no matter if you took it in person, during these terms laid out here, it would be counted as a regular transfer course as if you took it in person, okay? Hope I really cleared that up. Another common question we receive is how we view repeat coursework within our holistic review process. So if a student has earned a C grade or higher in a course, then we do not recommend repeating the course since we are unable to provide double credit for the same course. Okay, so if you've earned a C, I know that's tough. You want to do better. We understand you might have just had a tough time that semester. We don't recommend repeating it because we're going to take that C grade. Now, if you've earned below a C grade, then a repeat attempt is necessary, and you would need to repeat that course in order to receive credit for that course. Okay, so now let's take a look at our transfer equivalency table. Okay, so you can easily click it from this website here, get to the transfer equivalency table. And then you'll click transfer credit equivalency table. Now, this is the website you're going to use to find out how your transfer credit or how your credit at your current institution transfers to Georgia Tech. All right, so I'm going to walk us through this table very slowly because it can get confusing. But this will be the best tool, this along with the course requirements chart, for you to use when you're getting ready to apply to Georgia Tech, so you can know ahead of time what to expect with your transfer credit and make sure that you're on track to meet the course requirements at Georgia Tech. Okay, so this is all this is important information up here as well, so make sure you read through that when you're looking at this chart. The first question here is your institution within the United States? We're going to select yes for our example. Then tell us what state you're transferring from. We'll go ahead and just select Alabama. And then we're going to see, let's just go ahead and select one I know we have a good amount of transfer credit from. We'll select Auburn University, and then we're going to select Get School. Now, this will give you all the transfer credit that we have currently evaluated from this institution up until this point. All right, you can see the list of subjects of all the credit that we've evaluated, that our registrar's office has evaluated. What's great about this table is you can select multiple subjects. Okay, so we could select a chemistry, and let's scroll down here, and we'll select a physics, and then we'll select a math. Okay, so let's do that, and then let's hit, you always want to select undergraduate on the level. Okay, and then on the term, you want to scroll all the way to the bottom and then see equivalent data from all terms, just because you and we don't know when the last time our registrar's office have reviewed courses for that subject. So make sure you select see equivalent data from all terms. Then you're going to select Get Courses. Okay, now it's going to pull up this lovely chart. If you're having trouble sleeping at night, I recommend reading this. But no, I'm just joking. So it's going to pull up this lovely chart where you will see on the left-hand side is all of the courses from the current institution that you're at. So again, Auburn University here. And then on the right-hand side is how those courses transfer to Georgia Tech. All right, so it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. But you'll see here your course codes at Auburn on the left-hand side, the course name at Auburn, the level, again, it's always going to be undergraduate, the minimum grade, you have to have a C or higher, and then the terms, these would be the terms from which that would be effective. Okay, so if you see a date and then a date, that means for that date, that's when it would be effective. For most of you all here, it's most likely going to be to the end of time. So if you see that, that means that's the current evaluation we have for that course. Okay, so very easy. So for instance, one of our majors, you need chemistry. So you come over here and you need chemistry 1. So you'll see that the fundamentals of chemistry, the 1030, plus the fundamentals of chemistry lab, the 1031, if you scroll all the way over to the side, you will get the equivalent of chemistry 1211K, chemical principles 1, 4 credits. Okay, so that is how that will come over to Georgia Tech. You would get chemical principles 1, 4 credits at Georgia Tech if you were to take that course at Auburn. And then for the math, let's say you need calculus. Okay, this is honors calculus, but you can see what it looks like at Georgia Tech. Math 1617, calculus comes over as 1551 differential calculus. Now you'll see 2 credits here, but then you also get a mathematics elective of 2 credits because currently at Georgia Tech our calculus courses are only worth 2 credits, but you still get your total of 4 credits that you took at Auburn because you'll get those 2 credit mathematics electives. Now there's a few different answers, as I call them, or things over here that you will get on the table. One of them would be no Georgia Tech credit awarded. Okay, so that would be pretty easy. You just know that you're not going to get credit at Georgia Tech for that course. All right, so that would be no Georgia Tech credit awarded. The other answer you could get is appropriate department must evaluate. So if you see this, or you do not see your course on the table, you don't see your course over here for the subject that you selected, that means your department needs to evaluate that course. So you're going to need to submit a credit evaluation for that course. And that happens after you've been admitted to Georgia Tech. And I'll walk over that process in just a second. So if you see this, appropriate departments evaluate, or you do not see your course on the table, then you would need to submit and get ready to submit a credit evaluation once you've been admitted to Georgia Tech. Another answer you can get is you'll get a 2XXX or a 1XXX. That just means that's going to be an elective within that subject. And then the last answer you can get is the actual course at Georgia Tech. So you could see that here. Okay, so pretty easy to read. Like I said, once you get the hang of it, it just looks kind of daunting, but if you just want to make sure you're finding the courses at your current institution and then reading over to see how that comes over to Georgia Tech. Now, I know a lot of us have questions about what happens if my course is not on that table. So how we review our applications is when we get our applications into the office and we sit down and review them, we assume a student is going to get credit for their courses at their current institution during our review process. Unfortunately, we can't do a credit evaluation for all of our applications just because we don't have the time or the manpower to do that. But once a student submits an application, we review their application. We assume they're going to get credit for all their courses. Then we admit them. If we want to admit them, we go ahead and say, hey, congratulations, you've been admitted to Georgia Tech. And now that you've been admitted, we've reviewed and seen that you need credit evaluations for these courses at your current institution because we don't currently have them on our table. You will then submit your credit evaluations. You'll get instructions on how to do that, but it's typically a course syllabus and possibly some coursework from that course. You'll submit that to our credit evaluation site. Then our registrar's office and our faculty will review that course and determine if you get credit and what credit you will get for that course. If it comes back that you don't get credit for that course, you will still be admitted to Georgia Tech. We will not change your admissions decision, but you would need to take that course at Georgia Tech in order to receive credit for it. So that is how we do our credit evaluation process. At the very front end, during our review process on the application, we're assuming you're going to receive credit. Then after you've been admitted, we reach out to you and say, hey, if there are any courses that are at your current institution that are not on the table and you want credit for them, you're going to need to submit a credit evaluation for those courses. You'll submit the credit evaluation, and then you'll see if you get credit for those courses and what kind of credit you will get for those courses. And then again, your admissions decision is not affected by that. All right, so another way that students can receive credit at Georgia Tech, transfer credit, is by credit by exam. So I know we get a lot of questions about this, AP, IB, SAT2, things like that. So Georgia Tech welcomes the opportunity to honor credit by exam awards that you've received from your current institution. Credit by exam sources include AP, IB, SAT2, and A-level coursework. Now, it's the student's responsibility to request credit by exam or advanced standing credit on their official transcript. If your institution has the ability to list your credit by exam that you have earned on your transcript by the course name, the course code, and the credit hours for each course exam, then the Georgia Tech will honor what your institution gave you credit for that exam. So I know some of Georgia Tech's AP exam scores can be kind of high. And so if your institution gave you credit for an AP exam that Georgia Tech would not have, if that course is listed on the transcripts by the course name, the course code, and the amount of credit hours, we will honor what your institution gave you for that course as the equivalent course to Georgia Tech. Okay, so for instance, this is just an example. Let's say you made a 3 on the Physics C exam, and your institution gave you the Physics 1 from AP, and they listed on the transcripts. We will honor that at Georgia Tech that as you got credit for physics. If your institution does not do this, then your AP credits will be subject to Georgia Tech's exam scores. So definitely reach out to your institution, see if they do this. If they don't, see if they can, at the very least, send us a letter from the registrar's office with those exam scores listed if they can't list them on the transcripts. A lot of schools do list them on the transcripts, though, so definitely check out that to see if that is something that you would be able to do. Now, you can use AP credits, IB credits, or credit by exams to satisfy your minimum course requirements by major. So if you've taken the Calculus BC exam and you made a 5, so you got Calculus 1 and 2, then you don't need to retake Calculus 1 and 2 because you can use those to meet your course requirements. Or if you took the AP Lit exam and you got English, then you've got one of your English out of the way. So you don't need to take that that same course again because you can use it to meet those course requirements. Credit by exam awards can also be used to meet the 30 semester and 45 quarter credit hour application requirement as well. So if you're into your first semester but you had 60 AP credits, then you've already met that 30 semester credit hour requirement. Now, I'll pause for a second. There is a big caveat there. If you are on this presentation and you are a pathway student, what I just said does not apply to you, okay? If you received a pathway offer after your first year application, your 30 semester credit hours or 45 quarter credit hours must come post high school. That means that you cannot use dual enrollment credit and you cannot use AP credit to meet the credit hour requirement. You can still use them to meet your course requirements, for instance, Calculus 1 or English, but you cannot use them to meet that credit hour requirement, the 30 semester credit hour requirement. That is just, again, for pathway students that were offered a pathway after their first year application. Just want to make that as clear as possible. That's the big caveat. All right, so that is how you can expect your transfer credit to work at Georgia Tech when you're getting ready to apply. I want to talk about a couple other parts of the application that we review in our holistic review process. One part of the application that we review is the contribution to community. The contribution to community form is pretty simple. It's a one-page resume style. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a resume that you put, all your work experience on, which you can do, but it's a resume style formatted page. And we ask you to keep it to one page just because we're reading a lot of applications. So, make those highlights on that one page. And it's really just a form that I like to say is what you are doing outside the classroom. Where are you spending that time? We can obviously see how well you're doing inside the classroom through your transcripts, but we need you to fill us in on what you're doing outside the classroom. And I've been telling students, this is an optional part of the application, but it's highly recommended to do this because it gives us an insight into who you are outside the classroom. Are you a part of, do you have an internship? Are you a part of clubs or organizations? What leadership positions are you holding? Where are you? Have you done some interesting projects? Are you helping out in your community? Do you have to help out at home? Where are you doing those things? And then how much time are you spending on those things during the week, and how long have you been a part of those things? So give us a good description of those. Just give us some good insight on how long you've been doing those things and how much time you've put into doing those sorts of things in that contribution to community form. It's a great opportunity for you to kind of really tell us a little bit more about yourself, what you're passionate about doing, and how you would be a great fit for the Georgia Tech community. Another part of the application would be the 2 personal essays. Okay, so the first essay question is the same for everybody. It's basically just asking why Georgia Tech and why the major you want to study. So, why are you passionate about coming to Georgia Tech? Why are you passionate about studying what you want to study? Really take the time on these essays. Really important. Again, it's just some good insight for us as we review your application. You really want to do your best to try to stand out here. Kind of say, do your best and review those, look over those, make sure you're taking your time on those essays. It's a 300-word limit. So, they're not too long, but we do read every essay that comes in. So, do your best on those essays and give us the opportunity to really get some good insight into who you are as a student. And that is a great way to enhance your application. And then finally, another great way to do that as well is through our additional information sections on the application. So these are some optional parts of the application, and you don't have to do them, but if you say you had a tough semester or there was a time you got a bad grade or you had to withdraw from a course, this is the opportunity to explain that. What I've been telling students is don't let us fill in the gaps for you. You fill in all the gaps for us. So if we see your transcripts and we see, oh, this student withdrew from 3 courses in the fall, I wonder what happened. Are they just taking too much of a course load? Don't let us try to fill in those gaps. Tell us what happened. Hey, I had to withdraw from some courses because, I got sick, or my workload became too much at work, or I had to go take care of my mom, whatever it might be. The additional information section is for things just like that. Or, hey, I know I got a C in that course, but that was because I got a flat tire on the way to the final exam and my professor wouldn't help me out. Whatever it might be, just spend some time, put that information in there. It really does help us out in the application. And again, we do a holistic review process. That means that you're not just your GPA. We're looking at all parts of your application, from the essays to the course requirements, to the contribution to community forum, to the additional information. We're taking into consideration everything within your application before we make a final decision on your application. And a lot of our applicants, they go through a second, third, and sometimes even fourth review before we reach a final decision. So make sure you're taking the time on that. Use all parts of the application. That is the best advice we give to any of our students. Use all parts of that application to your benefit, because this is our only opportunity to get to see who you are as a student, and our only opportunity to get to see how well you would fit into that Georgia Tech community. And that kind of leads me to my last point here, is the institutional fit. So we're looking at all parts of your application, the essays, the contribution to community forum, your transcripts, your coursework, your course progression, your GPAs, all of it. We're looking at it to see, are you a good fit for Georgia Tech, and is Georgia Tech a good fit for you? And so we're going to be having those discussions. We do a partner-based review model, which means that anytime we're looking at your application, it's two people sitting down and having a discussion, at least two people. Sometimes it's more, having a discussion on you, on your application. Hey, is this person a good fit for Georgia Tech? Do we think that they would thrive here? Do we think that they would be a great fit here? And that's how we go about making our decisions. So really spend your time on your application. It's highly advised. A lot of our students have really great GPAs, but what really sets them apart is putting together a really good application. All right, some important deadlines. I know I'm coming up right on time here, so I want to make sure I can answer maybe one or two questions right here at the end. But here's some important deadlines coming up. Our spring semester, our application deadline obviously has passed. So our next application that will be available will be for our summer semester. And if you haven't considered the summer, I highly advise checking that out. That application will open in December and it will close January 15th. And then the fall application will open January 15th and close March 1st. So you can check out those deadlines on our website. And then lastly, just some financial information. I will say I am not an expert in financial aid. So if you have some more questions on financial aid, we would definitely encourage you to check out our financial aid website. I will mention, unfortunately, at this time, we don't offer any transfer specific scholarships from Georgia Tech. It's something we're really working hard to change and get updated, because we really want to serve our transfer students really well. But what we do like to highlight is that number there at the top. We believe in a return on value, and we believe a college education does a great part in that. And so you could see at the top there are $74,000 average starting salaries, so it's not too bad. But we also highlight some creative ways that you can pay through co-op and internship programs that we talked about earlier, research participation, part-time jobs, or even outside scholarships as well. So make sure if you have some time, check out our financial aid website to learn a little bit more about that process. And then if you haven't had a chance to come to campus, I highly encourage you, if you can't make it here in person, to check out our campus virtually. Our team did a really great job of putting this virtual visit together, where you could really get an idea of what life is like on our Georgia Tech campus. All right, now I know I've got like 6 minutes left, and I'm really going to do my best to keep this right at an hour just to respect everyone's time. So we're going to jump out of the presentation, and I'm going to be answering some of your questions here. So again, thank you so much. And if you have questions, go ahead and drop those in there. If we can't get to your questions today, you can send us an email, or you can jump into one of our upcoming sessions that we have. We have a Connect with a Counselor session. I think that's next week. And we have some other sessions coming up throughout this week as well. All right, so the first question we have is, based on the table, the writing course that I'm taking next semester satisfies English 1102, but there is no prerequisite at my school that is equivalent to 1101. Would I need to take another course to make up for the English 1101? So the easy answer to that is yes, because you still need the 2 English courses. So some students will test out of an English 1 or something like that, but you still need a total of 6 semester credit hours for each English, or for English total. So you need English 1 and English 2. So if you've only taken one that's equivalent to English 2, you would need to take another English course. The way you can do that is take it at a local community college, take it online, or try to find that alternative writing course at your current institution as well. All right, next question. What if we haven't done any community service during 2021, but have done it before? Are we allowed to use prior experience? Absolutely. So if you've been a part of some organizations or clubs or something like that, with prior, previously, and you're not currently doing it, still highlight those things. We typically probably go back just a couple of years when we're looking at that contribution to community form. If it's kind of past 3-4 years, that's probably a little too far out. But things that you've done during your time at your current institution are definitely things that we're looking for there. Now, if you've just recently graduated high school and you haven't really had a chance to jump into anything yet at your current institution, then you can highlight some of those things from high school, probably your last couple of years from high school. But we're really looking for as much recent stuff as we can on that contribution to community form. All right, next question. I'm a math major at Georgia State, but I'm planning to switch to aerospace or neuroscience. Do I still need to take lab science because math major needs lab science, but not aerospace or neuroscience? So aerospace and neuroscience have specific lab sciences that you need to take. For instance, aerospace engineering, you need the chemistry and the physics. Those are lab sciences. So you need those two specific lab sciences. Those majors that say you have a lab science elective, that really just means you have a choice of the lab sciences that you want to take. The majors that show you which lab sciences you have to take, those are the ones you have to take. So, just make sure you're meeting the requirements for that major that you do want to take. For the computer science degree, it says that I need to take 2 correlating lab classes. If I took biology 1 and I'm currently taking physics 1, can I drop the physics 1 and replace that with the biology 2 to satisfy that requirement? If so, will I have to submit my school transcript again for spring 2022? So we are definitely asking students to meet that sequential lab science requirement. It is a requirement, but the best thing is that you are taking 2 lab sciences to not be missing a course requirement. So do your best to meet that sequence. If it's for spring 2022, probably a little bit too late there. But I would advise students to follow that chart as closely as they possibly can. If you had some issues getting into a class or something like that, that's where that additional information section will be extremely important for you. All right, are we allowed to have a withdrawal on a course for the first generation pathway program? Okay, so I'm going to kind of just answer this for all students about withdrawals on your transcript. So we definitely notice those on the transcript, or withdrawal. We want our students to, be taking a full course load if they can. So we definitely make note of those things. If you have one withdrawal for some reason, again, that additional information section is a great place to explain why you had to withdraw from a course. It's not an end all be all. It's not going to be the reason that most likely that it won't be the reason that we would deny a student for having to withdraw from one course. It may be a part of our discussion, but if you have to withdraw from a course, just again, let us know why, give us some information onto the background of that. All right, next question. I think this is going to be our last question. I'm currently a freshman at another college because I received the summer conditional option. Is there someone I can get in touch with to ask specific questions about which courses I should take next semester? That's a great question. We get a lot of students that reach out to us in our inbox is saying, hey, what classes should I take my current institution? What we tell these students is, unfortunately, we can't advise you on what to take at your current institution because that's your current institution. We're not really allowed to do that. What we do advise you to do is take a look at the course requirements chart, make sure that you are on track to meet those course requirements for that major, okay? And then take that to your advising at your current institution. Say, hey, I need to meet these courses. I need to get these courses completed at my major in this time frame. So tell me how I do that. And then you want to make sure your course requirements do transfer to Georgia Tech. So that's where you use the transfer equivalency table. So find the equivalent courses at your current institution and find those course requirements and find out how they transfer to Georgia Tech and make sure you are using the ones that do transfer to Georgia Tech. Now, again, if you're, as I said when we were going over that section, if your courses are not on that table, that just means we haven't evaluated them yet. So take the course that is most closely related to that course at Georgia Tech. What you'll want to do is go onto our course catalog and look at the course. So for instance, if at your institution, Georgia Tech has not evaluated the Calculus 1 yet, then you'll want to go to Georgia Tech's catalog, search for the Calculus 1 at Georgia Tech, and then find the course at your institution that most closely relates to that course at Georgia Tech. If your course is not on the table. If it's on the table, make sure you're taking the one that transfers over as that course requirement at Georgia Tech. All right, so I know we had some, people were really interested in our course requirements in our catalog. We have there's some great information on our website about that stuff. If you all have more questions, again, we have some sessions coming up next week, Connect with a Counselor, or if you have some specific pathway questions, I would definitely check out those pathway sessions coming up in the next couple of days as well. So make sure you're taking the time to do that. Thank you all so very much for spending the time with us this evening. Again, I want to respect everybody's time. So thank you for being with us. Again, if we weren't able to get your question, I apologize. We want to try to get to every question that we can, so you can email us, and we'll do our best to get back with you as quickly as possible. Thank you all so much. Have a great evening, and hopefully we'll see you all here at Georgia Tech in the next few semesters. Thank you. Bye-bye.